Hi, I'm Carolyn Hopkins. I'm the marketing director here at Tight House Microbrewery in Mountain View. We've been in business since 1987. We've been family owned since then. We are very well known in the community, the local community. I was hired I was hired as a server actually 5 years ago when I was in graduate school, thinking that I was just going to use the job to get me through graduate school and that some fantastic job would be waiting for me at the end of that. Then reality set in and that didn't happen, so I actually just took what I learned from graduate school and started applying it to the restaurant. I went to school for mass communications, so it was sort of a natural thing for me to start looking into the various social media channels that we would be able to use for the restaurant to help us build our fan base, our customer base, and ultimately our profits. So I actually approached our owner with my job. I told him, basically, this is what you need, this is what I can do for you, and this is what I want. He approved it. We started. I had already been working through Twitter and on Facebook. I had already set up a fan page and a Tight House Twitter account. So that was sort of something for me to scale. Our restaurant is very much known by word of mouth. We're very much a neighborhood place. So the way that I look at social media is it's a bigger neighborhood. It's bigger word of mouth. It's a big mouth. What I love about social media is that it's free promotion for any business. I think that's what any business can take away from it, is that you've got free marketing, free advertising, free promotion. You don't need to go through the old channels, through print media, all of that. And it's just such a great way to get the word out to a larger constituent and to the right demographic. You've got, especially here in Silicon Valley, there are so many young people. There are so many techie heads that you need to be online. You need to have a presence in order for your restaurant to get noticed. Whether it be something good or something bad, you need to be on there having that conversation with your guests. For example, the channels that I use most frequently are Facebook and Twitter. I also manage our Yelp page, and I manage my own personal account through LinkedIn, I use those all very differently. Facebook, I have a personal account that doesn't have anything to do with the restaurant, where I can just talk sports or, mess around with friends. Then we have a Facebook fan page for Tight House. That's where I can talk about different managers here, things going on. It's sort of a fun way to let everybody know what's going on here or in the larger microbrewery community, or in the larger business community, or the larger Mountain View, Silicon Valley community. Through Twitter, everything that I post on Facebook does go to Twitter, but I use Twitter a little differently because there are people that talk more about breweries and Tight House on Twitter. So being able to converse with them and to reply to them, to answer their questions. I had one gentleman, on the other side of things, I had a gentleman who, on Twitter, I had my very first bad review on Twitter. I emailed him to see what happened. It was a way for me to figure out what he didn't like about his experience and to invite him back and to get that customer back in. I think without managing these sites, you just let people say whatever they want and you don't have a chance to have your side of things. So for a business owner, it's absolutely important to be online. Whether it's you're replying to something where they're saying, oh, I love the beer, I love the service, this is my favorite server, or it's something bad, they had a bad experience. There's, the hair in the soup, the quintessential, the worst thing that could happen in a restaurant. I think that's the most important thing for companies to do, is to actually engage their customer base online. Like I said, it's the same thing that we used to do with word of mouth, with going to the Chamber of Commerce events and meeting with people and going out on the street and doing promotions. You now have a way to do that with a larger scale. We have Twitter followers in England, we have Twitter followers in India, we have Twitter followers in the Philippines, all over the world, that have come to Mountain View to do business and will come back to do business. And when they do, they're going to come here because they know what's going on. at all times, 24 hours a day. They can log onto their computer and find out what we're doing. The way that we measure the success of social media is the tools I use are basically the built-in applications that come with Facebook, come with Yelp. Twitter doesn't have a built-in application like Facebook or like Yelp. I get weekly updates from Yelp and from Facebook, and I can measure what worked that week. You can basically look on Facebook and see, if multiple people liked something, or if you have engaged people where they're actually answering your questions. That's a measure of success. I know for a fact that we started a promotion last September. It's $1 half pint night. It's Thursday nights from 8 until closing. We offer all of our half pints for $1. The very first week that we did that, all that I did was to tweet about it and put it on Facebook and actually put it on LinkedIn. We only had about 45 half pints sold. We are now averaging 300 to 350 half pints every Thursday night. The main source of word of mouth that we've used is social media. It's a direct link to social media. Our sales in general have gone up about 10%. We had projected for 3% this year, a 3% increase. They've gone up about 10% since we've started our campaigns online. Some tools I don't use are things like TweetDeck. What I really like about social media is that all the sites are different. They shouldn't be used the same way. You shouldn't be posting the same thing on your LinkedIn account that you're posting on your Facebook account, that you're posting on your Twitter account. That's not going to engage people. The way to engage people is to talk about different things, to use, like, for example, LinkedIn is all about getting to know everyone else in your business, finding mentors, finding people that you can mentor, and using it that way, answering questions that other marketing experts or marketing students have. That's the way to use LinkedIn. Twitter is one of these phenomenons where if you don't understand it, that's fine. But it's something that everybody can learn and can get into because I think it's the coolest website out there right now. For example, when the Haiti earthquake happened, the way that people actually found out about their family members or what was going on up to the minute was through Twitter. Facebook is something more. Twitter is very fluid. Twitter is really a conversation because it's up to the minute. It happens. You just see the Twitter feed. It keeps going. You have to, in order to be in the conversation, you have to be on there and engaging people. Facebook is more static, where people can go to your fan page at their leisure and look at what's going on. So Facebook and Twitter are similar, and I post similar things on there, but Twitter is more of that conversation. The other tools I use a lot of Google, just the free built-in applications that Google offers. So we're working on a new website now, but with our old website, I actually use Google Analytics. And then I do things in-house. I'll do Excel spreadsheets to see what worked, what's bringing people in, things like that. So
How much time do you spend?
I spend about 30% of my job, 30 to 40% of my job online, checking these different sites. I look to see if we've been in the news at all. I get Google news alerts for Tide House, so I can see, if people on Meetup.com are talking about us, or if somebody talked about us in our blog, or in their blog. So it's a good chunk of my job.